U.S. college campuses have become battlegrounds amid the Israel-Gaza conflict. Students, faculty, and administrators have engaged in protests, sparking controversy. Some donors are threatening to withdraw funding over administrators' responses. This emotionally charged issue stems from the broader history of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, where deeply entrenched opinions create pressure for those who disagree. Maintaining a culture of civil discourse and cooperation is vital on campuses. While debate and challenge are encouraged, incivility and backlash risk undermining the purpose of higher education. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak traveled to Israel and other regional capitals to address the Israel-Gaza conflict. He expressed condolences for the loss of life in the conflict and called for the international community to prevent further escalation. Sunak also insisted on allowing humanitarian aid into Gaza and the safe return of stranded Britons. The UK pledged increased humanitarian aid for Palestinians. The visit followed U.S. President Joe Biden's visit to Israel, where he secured an agreement for humanitarian assistance to Gaza via Egypt. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov visited North Korea to enhance military cooperation, just after the U.S. accused North Korea of violating international embargoes by supplying Russia with munitions for its war efforts in Ukraine. Lavrov negotiated a planned visit by Russian President Vladimir Putin to Pyongyang, reciprocating North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's visit to Russia. Both sides expressed strong support for each other in their respective conflicts, raising concerns over potential arms exchanges. Specific agreements from this meeting were not immediately disclosed. Amidst the Israel-Hamas conflict, U.S. politicians are urging social media companies to address disinformation and violent content. European officials have taken a more assertive approach, with the EU launching an investigation into X over its handling of violent content related to the Hamas attacks. In contrast, U.S. efforts are limited due to Congress's failure to regulate online content, First Amendment protections, and Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. U.S. officials have reached out to social media firms but face challenges due to these legal constraints. Section 230 reform has been proposed but lacks support. President Joe Biden's unprecedented trip to Israel amid the conflict carried political risks. Israeli leaders had been unreliable allies, criticizing Biden and supporting his opponents. The hospital explosion in Gaza further complicated the visit. The Biden team maintained a balanced approach, backing Israel's self-defense rights while advocating for humanitarian concerns and international law. The visit marked a turnaround in the Biden-Netanyahu relationship. Netanyahu had previously bypassed the U.S. government to engage with U.S. supporters directly, but he now saw Biden's visit as crucial support amid the ongoing crisis. In the wake of a devastating explosion at a Gaza hospital, the Middle East witnessed widespread protests. Although the evidence points to a rocket fired by Islamic Jihad, protesters hold Israel responsible for both the hospital tragedy and the ongoing conflict. Surprisingly, many Arab governments have condemned Israel for the attack, a rare alignment with public sentiment. The United States also faces criticism for its stance on the matter, prompting demonstrators to speak out against perceived media bias and misinformation. The United States vetoed a UN Security Council resolution seeking humanitarian pauses in the Israel-Hamas conflict for Gaza aid access. 12 members supported the draft, while Russia and Britain abstained. U.S. Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield urged diplomacy to continue, emphasizing actions informed by the situation on the ground. The UN Secretary-General, Antonio Guterres, called for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire. Russia requested an emergency UN General Assembly session to address the conflict. The Council warns of an expanding, dangerous conflict, highlighting the Israeli-Palestinian crisis's potential to reshape the Middle East.